Welcome to Starbound Valor HFY. Subscribe now and dive into daily epic sci-fi adventures where humanity always rises. The Galactic Council Hall was one of the largest structures ever built in the universe. It floated inside a hollowed asteroid, filled with bright blue lights and towering crystal pillars. Every species of the galaxy had a seat here, from the tall silver seraphim to the short stone-skinned Dralic, but there was one seat that never changed, one seat that always remained empty. It was the seat of Earth. For 200 long years, Earth had not come to even a single meeting. At first, the council waited with patience, thinking humans were busy or late. But later, patience became irritation, irritation became anger, and finally anger became cold silence. Even now, on this important day, the center chair of Earth stood empty and cold like a forgotten memory. The room filled with quiet whispers. Some spoke with fear, others with pride, and others with a strange hope. "Humans are gone," a tall insectoid leader hissed. "They must have destroyed themselves. It is what they do best." A heavy creature made of stone replied, "No. Humans do not fall so easily. They always return stronger." Another alien laughed in a sharp metallic tone. "Return? They cannot even send a message. They abandoned the galaxy." But none of them knew the truth. They only knew what they saw: silence. The council leader hit his staff on the ground, making a deep echo. "We begin today's meeting. Again, Earth is absent. Again, we continue without them. If Earth refuses to join the galaxy, then the galaxy will move forward without Earth." Many members nodded. Some smiled. Some looked sad. Suddenly, the hall lights flickered. At first, everyone thought it was a small power issue. But then the walls shook. A loud alarm burst through the chamber in a sharp red glow. The council leader looked around. "What is happening?" A young scout officer rushed in, his skin pale with fear. "Council, we have incoming signals. Unknown ships detected." The members rolled their eyes. "Pirates again," someone said. "Void storms," another guessed. The scout shook his head. "No, you do not understand. It is a fleet. A massive fleet." The council leader frowned. "How many ships?" The scout swallowed. 200, he checked his screen again and gasped. "No. Not 200. 2,000. They are all heading straight toward us." Chaos exploded in the room. Some members jumped from their seats. Others shouted orders. Some grabbed communication devices. The council had never seen anything this big before. Not even the mighty Scorch Empire owned such a massive fleet. Are they hostile? What species? Are weapons active? Are shields raised? The scouts' hands shook. Their technology is unknown. Their size is larger than any warship we have seen. The council leader stared at him. "Unknown? There are no unknown ships in this sector." The officer whispered, "Sir, that is the problem." The hall grew darker. Power flickered again. Outside the asteroid walls, something huge moved into view. A shadow fell over the council hall. Members ran to the transparent windows. What they saw froze their blood. A wall of steel. Rows of giant warships, shaped like blades cutting through the stars. Their hulls glowed with bright blue lines, forming patterns no known species used. Their engines were silent but powerful, moving with smooth control. Every ship's weapons were online, glowing softly with white energy that none of the aliens recognized. The fleet stretched across the stars like an endless storm. 2,000 warships, all pointing directly toward the council. The council speaker stepped back, his voice trembling. "Who are they?" No species icon appeared. No translation system recognized their signature. No code matched their patterns. The warships stopped at the same moment, perfectly synchronized. A deep silence filled the hall. Every member watched the sky with fear. Then a voice echoed through the communication system. A voice they had not heard in 200 years. A human voice. Calm. Strong. Confident. "This is Earth Command." Every alien froze. The council leader dropped his staff. The voice continued, "Galactic Council, we request permission to arrive." The hall filled with whispers and shock. Earth? Impossible. Humans were supposed to be weak, scattered, quiet. Not owners of the largest war fleet in known space. The communication signal strengthened. "We repeat. This is Earth Command. We are returning." The council leader finally found his voice. "Earth. You vanished for 2 centuries. You ignored our calls. Why return now, and with an army?" The human voice answered slowly, "Because the galaxy is in danger." The council fell silent. The voice continued, "And you are not ready for what is coming." The communication ended. The stars outside glowed against the steel of the human armada. The council, for the first time in hundreds of years, felt small. And the galaxy realized one terrifying truth: Earth had not been sleeping. Earth had been preparing. And now, they had returned. For many years, the galaxy created many stories about Earth. Some said humans destroyed themselves in a great war. Others claimed humans became weak and returned to living on their small blue world. Some even believed humans ran away because they were afraid of the stronger alien empires. But the truth was nothing like the rumors. The truth was far more dangerous, far more terrifying, and only Earth knew it. 200 years ago, Earth detected something strange near the edge of the galaxy. A signal, old and broken, coming from a dead star system. Human scientists tried to study it, but something inside the signal made their systems fail. They tried again and again, and finally the message was clear enough to understand. It was not a warning. It was a scream. A scream from a dying civilization begging for help. Earth sent explorers to that system, but when they arrived, the planets were gone. Not destroyed, but gone. Only dust remained. The stars in that area were cold and dark, like someone had drained all their energy. Humans had never seen anything like it. Their ships recorded something huge moving in the darkness, something that did not match any known life form. When the explorers returned, their recordings were so frightening that Earth's leaders locked all information away and told no one. They knew the galaxy would panic if they learned the truth. Earth decided to stay silent in all galactic meetings. They stopped sending ambassadors, messages, and scouts. They pretended to be weak, but in reality, they were building something large and preparing for something bigger. Earth began Project Shield, a secret plan to protect their world and prepare for war against an enemy no one understood. For 200 years, humans worked in silence. They built training stations around their moon. They created new weapons powered by energy cores that could bend light. They designed ships stronger than anything known in the galaxy. They built engines that could travel faster than any warp drive. They created armor that could survive inside a star's heat. Millions of humans volunteered to train. They did not complain, even when the training was harsh and dangerous. Humans fought underwater, underground, and burning deserts, and frozen worlds. They learned to fight without sleep, to think in darkness, to survive alone. Earth hid all signals, blocked all transmissions, and closed all borders. They cut themselves from the galaxy so they could focus only on one thing: survival. Meanwhile, the Galactic Council believed Earth was lazy or disrespectful. They never imagined that humans were preparing on a scale no species had ever seen. But not everything during those 2 centuries was training. Earth's research teams discovered more signals, more dead systems. Each one worse than the last. They studied the enemy and gave it a name: the Voidborn. A species older than the galaxy, a species that lived by consuming stars and life energy. There were not many, but one Voidborn destroyer could erase 10 planets in a single cycle. Humans learned that the Voidborn were moving closer. Every century, they advanced a little more. Every few decades, another star system died. Earth tried to warn the Council once, but the Council refused to listen. They believed humans were exaggerating or trying to gain power. After that, Earth decided to stop talking completely. If the galaxy did not want to listen, then Earth would prepare alone. But as the years passed, something changed. Humans began winning small fights against void-born scouts. They learned their weaknesses, studied their biology, captured some of their technology, and slowly built a fleet of powerful ships designed to fight them. Earth realized the time was short. The void-born were not coming soon, they were coming now. Earth had two choices: warn the galaxy and unite them, or let the galaxy fall unprepared. Humans knew what they had to do. They activated their war fleet, 2,000 ships strong, and headed for the Galactic Council. They did not return because of pride. They did not return because of power. They returned because the galaxy was in danger, and every species would die if Earth stayed silent. Back in the Council Hall, as the members stared at the massive human fleet outside, they had no idea about the sacrifices Earth had made. Hundreds of humans died during training. Thousands died in early battles with the Voidborn. Entire cities on Earth worked day and night to build weapons. Children grew up knowing their future might be war. Humans carried a heavy secret, a secret too big for the Council to understand. That is why Earth disappeared from every meeting. Not because they were weak. Not because they were selfish. But because they were the only ones who saw the truth, and they were the only ones who prepared for it. Now, as their fleet waited silently outside the Council Hall, the galaxy had to face a reality they never expected. Earth had returned not as a small voice but as the only shield standing between life and total extinction. The moment Earth's warships came into clear view, the entire Galactic Council felt a fear they had never known before. Even the strongest empires, the ones who bragged about having unbeatable armies, now sat silently like children watching a storm tear across the sky. The windows of the Council Hall showed the full scale of the human fleet, and every second that passed made the image even more unbelievable. Each ship was massive, shaped like a long blade mixed with a fortress. Their outer metal was dark silver with glowing blue lines that looked like veins carrying pure power. These designs were nothing like the old human ships the Council remembered from centuries ago. Those old ships were simple, slow, and easy to understand. These new ships were silent giants, moving with perfect control, as if they were alive. No engines roared. No smoke trailed. They moved smoothly, like shadows gliding through water. All 2,000 of them held tight formation, a perfect wall of human strength. Even the most disciplined alien soldiers felt their hearts beat faster. The Council leader tried to hide his fear as he stared at the fleet. How did Earth build this?" he whispered. No one answered. They knew the real question was not how they built it, but why they built it. Before anyone could speak, a bright light appeared in front of the Council Hall. A small human ship, much smaller than the giant warships, slowly moved toward the landing area. It was not armed, not threatening, just simple and clean like a messenger vessel. But the Council did not relax. If humans could build a fleet like that, then even a small vessel could be dangerous. As the ship landed, the room grew tense. Dozens of alien guards aimed their weapons, ready to defend themselves. The door of the human ship opened with a soft hiss. 5 figures stepped out. 5 humans. They were tall, standing straight like soldiers. Each one wore dark armor with blue lines that pulsed softly like a heartbeat. The armor was not thick or heavy like old human designs. It was smooth and flexible, but clearly powerful. The helmets covered their faces completely, glowing with a thin blue light across the visor. The Council had seen humans before, but never like this. These humans looked older but stronger, sharper, almost dangerous just by standing still. They walked side by side, never breaking formation. Every step was calm, controlled, and full of confidence. It was clear they had practiced this walk for years. When they reached the center of the hall, the leader of the 5 stepped forward and touched his helmet. The visor faded, revealing his face. He looked serious, with eyes that held a deep tiredness, the kind that only comes from seeing too many battles. He spoke with a calm but strong voice. "We greet the Council. We come from Earth Command." Even his voice carried authority. The Council leader stepped forward. "Your fleet, your technology, this is not possible. Earth was quiet for 2 centuries. Now you return with an army larger than anything we have ever seen. What have you been doing?" The human leader did not answer immediately. Instead, he looked slowly around the hall, studying every alien species, every expression of fear or confusion. "Preparing," he finally said, "for a threat that is bigger than all of you." The council members muttered nervously. One alien raised his voice. "Preparing for what? Why would humans need 2,000 warships?" Another shouted, "Are you planning to take over the galaxy?" The human leader shook his head. "No. We came to save it." His words echoed in the hall. Some members scoffed. Some stared in disbelief. But none of them felt safe. The human continued, "Your galaxy is not what you think. There are dangers beyond the outer rim, dangers you have never seen. Earth has faced them alone. We tried to warn you long ago. You did not listen. So we prepared alone." He projected a hologram from his wrist. The image floated above the council floor. It showed a star system dying, its sun drained, planets crumbling into dust. Gasps filled the room. "This star once supported life," the human said. "Now it is gone." He expanded the map. It showed dozens more systems, all marked with red lights. "These are all destroyed. And this is only the beginning." The room fell silent. The council leader stepped back, his voice weak. "Who did this?" The human turned off the hologram. His face hardened. "A species known as the Voidborn." Many aliens had never heard the name. Some looked confused, others terrified. "They are older than all of us. They do not talk. They do not trade. They do not think like living things. They only consume. They drain stars, planets, and life energy. And now, they are coming here." The council froze. The human finished, "Earth did not stay silent because we abandoned you. Earth stayed silent because we knew panic would destroy you before the Voidborn even arrived. Now we return with our fleet, because the time for silence is over." The humans stood tall, their armor glowing softly, while outside the massive fleet waited in perfect formation. For the first time, the galaxy realized a truth they never expected. Earth had become something new, something powerful, something the galaxy desperately needed. And the humans had only just begun to reveal what they knew. The council hall was silent as the human leader's words echoed through the chamber. For the first time in centuries, every alien race felt the same emotion at the same moment: fear. Not fear of Earth, not fear of the human fleet waiting outside like a wall of steel, but fear of something far worse, something they had never heard of until today. The Voidborn. The name alone felt heavy, like it carried the cold weight of death. The human leader looked at the council members one by one, letting them feel the seriousness of what he had said. Then he raised his wrist again, and another hologram appeared. This time it showed a creature, a massive dark shape floating in space. It had no eyes, no mouth, no clear form. Its body looked like smoke and metal mixing together, twisting and shifting in a slow, horrifying movement. Sharp tendrils reached outward like long claws made of shadow. The creature made no sound, but somehow the room felt colder just by looking at it. "This is a Voidborn scout," the human said quietly. Gasps and whispers ran through the room. "A scout? If this was only a scout, what did the real Voidborn look like?" The human continued, "We found this near the star system of Heron 6. Our ships destroyed it, but not before it drained the entire sun. An entire sun, gone in minutes." The Seraphim delegate stepped forward, shaking. "Impossible. Nothing can drain a sun." The human leader looked at him with tired eyes. "You think that because you only live inside this galaxy. But the Voidborn are not from here. They come from outside the galaxy, from a place we cannot map or understand. They move in the darkness between galaxies. They follow the energy of living stars, and when they find them, they consume everything. Another hologram appeared, this time showing space turning black as the Voidborn passed through. Stars dimmed and planets cracked like glass. The council watched in horror as entire worlds were reduced to nothing. They do not invade like normal enemies, the humans said. They do not send armies to land on planets. They send their destroyers, they drain the sun, and when the sun dies, the planet dies too. No life survives. Cities turn to dust. Oceans freeze. Atmospheres collapse. And they move on to the next system. The Dralic representative, made of stone but now trembling, asked, How many Voidborn are there? The human sighed. We do not know. We have seen only scouts in small groups. If an entire swarm arrives, no fleet in the galaxy could stop them. The council leader, pale and speechless, finally whispered, Why did you not come to us sooner? The human leader's expression hardened. Because when we tried, you did not believe us. 200 years ago, we sent a warning to the council. You refused to listen. You thought humans were trying to get attention or power. So we decided to prepare alone. Another human stepped forward and spoke for the first time. We lost many people. Many ships. Whole research stations were destroyed by Voidborn scouts. We fought in places no one in this galaxy knows. We sacrificed everything so we could be ready for the day the Voidborn turned their eyes toward your galaxy. The council fell silent again. It was hard for them to accept that humans, a species they once considered loud, emotional, and unpredictable, had been fighting in the shadows to protect everyone. The human leader continued, The Voidborn move slowly, but they never stop. We estimate they will reach the outer edge of this galaxy in less than 5 years. They will find the weakest stars first. Small colonies. Mining systems. Then they will move inward. If the galaxy stays divided, we will fall. Every species will die. No technology, no empire, no army can stop them alone. The hologram changed again, showing a map of the Milky Way. A dark wave spread slowly toward it from the outside. When the wave reached a star, the star turned black. When it reached the planet vanished. The human pointed to the approaching wave. Earth has fought them. Earth has killed them. Earth has steadied them. And Earth has prepared a fleet to stop them. One member of the council spoke weakly, Prepared, or to rule us. The human leader shook his head. We are not here to rule anyone. We are here because the Voidborn have already entered our borders. We came to warn you. We came to unite you. If we do not stand together, we will all die alone. The council members looked at the map, then at each other. For the first time in centuries, their political games felt pointless. Their rivalries felt small. Their arguments felt childish. A threat older than galaxies was coming for them, and Earth, the species they had mocked, ignored, and dismissed, was the only one ready to fight it. Outside, the 2,000 human warships waited in cold silence, glowing against the stars like a promise and a warning at the same time. Earth had returned not as a lost member of the Council, but as the bearer of the most terrifying truth the galaxy had ever known. The Voidborn were coming, and no one was safe. The Council Hall, once a place of arguments and loud debates, now felt like a chamber made of ice. After learning about the Voidborn, many members sat frozen in their seats, unable to speak or think clearly. But fear does not unite everyone. Sometimes fear breaks people apart. And the same thing began happening inside the Council. Some species believed humans completely. Others doubted every word. And some thought the entire story was a trick. The tension rose like a storm ready to explode. The Seraphim delegate stood up first, his wings trembling slightly, though he tried to hide it. We must listen to Earth, he said. If what they say is true, we need their help. No one else has a fleet like that. But immediately the Krell Dominion representative shouted, Do not be fooled. Humans disappeared for 200 years. Now they return with an army of 2,000 ships. Does that sound like protection? Or conquest? Many aliens murmured in agreement. A small reptilian species hissed, maybe they created this void-born lie to scare us. Maybe they want us to trust them so they can take over the council. The human leader remained silent, watching them argue. He knew this would happen. Humans had expected it. Fear was predictable. Power was feared. The truth was too big for most to accept. The council leader tried to speak, but another voice rose. The Dralic representative, usually calm like stone, shouted, "Look at their fleet. Look at their armor. Humans have changed too fast. No species can evolve this much in 2 centuries. Something is wrong." Another alien added, "They ignored us for so long. They refused to talk. And now they return with weapons we do not understand. How do we know they did not destroy those star systems themselves?" The human leader finally spoke, his voice steady but heavy. "If we wanted to conquer you, we would have done so already. Nothing is stopping us. Your defenses cannot handle our fleet. But we are not here for war." His words were calm, but the truth inside them shook the room. Some aliens lowered their heads, knowing it was true. Others became even more afraid. Fear of Earth mixed with fear of the Voidborn, creating a dangerous confusion. Meanwhile, outside the council hall, human warships began releasing strange drone-like devices. The drones were small black spheres that floated in silent patterns around the fleet. Aliens watching from observation decks panicked instantly. Rumors spread like fire. They are preparing weapons. They are scanning the council. They are marking targets. In reality, the drones were only shield monitors, checking for void-born energy signatures. But no one outside the human fleet knew that. A spy ship from the Krell Dominion slowly approached one of the human cruisers, trying to scan its technology. The moment the ship came close, a bright blue flash appeared. A human defense drone flew forward, fired a warning pulse, and disabled the spy ship instantly without destroying it. The alien crew inside panicked as their systems shut down. They began drifting helplessly. A human message appeared on all channels: "Do not approach human vessels without permission. This is your only warning." The message was not loud. It was not threatening. But it was powerful enough to make every species reconsider their actions. Inside the council hall, tension exploded. "They attacked our ship," the Krell representative shouted, pointing at the humans. The human leader replied calmly, "Your ship approached our cruiser without permission. We disabled it safely. If we wanted to destroy it, we could have." The council leader demanded, "Why deploy drones? Why bring so many weapons?" The human answered, "Because the Voidborn can sense energy from far away. We are checking for their presence. They might already be near this sector." That answer terrified everyone even more. Some members whispered, "They are here, near us." The human leader nodded slowly. "They move silently. They hunt stars. They do not send warnings." Another hologram appeared, showing a faint ripple moving through space. "This is a Voidborn energy trail. It was detected close to your outer colonies. They are closer than you think." The council fell silent again. Many aliens felt their bodies turn cold. Suddenly, everything made sense. Earth had not come to intimidate them. Earth had come because the enemy was already too close. But despite the danger, arguments continued. Some species pushed to trust Earth and unite. Others demanded time to think. Time humans knew they did not have. Humans watched quietly as the council argued like frightened children. The human leader turned to his team and whispered, "They will not understand until the Voidborn strike." Meanwhile, rumors grew stronger. Panic spread across the council city. Civilians saw the giant human fleet and believed an invasion was coming. Small fights started between alien citizens. Fear grew larger than truth. And through all this chaos, Earth remained silent, their ships standing like steel guardians outside the hall. The galaxy was splitting apart in confusion, but the humans knew one simple fact: the Voidborn were coming, and every moment wasted in argument brought the end one step closer. Earth had returned to save the galaxy, but the galaxy was too busy fearing Earth to understand the real threat. And soon, they would pay the price for their doubt. Panic spread across the galaxy faster than any message ever had. The council kept arguing inside the hall, but far away, in the quiet outer rim of the galaxy, something was already happening, something Earth had feared for years. While the council argued about trusting humans or not, the Voidborn made their first true move. In a small colony system called Lorna 7, a peaceful world where farmers grew giant crystal plants, the sky suddenly turned black. At first, the colonists thought it was a strange storm. But storms do not move like living shadows. Storms do not drain sunlight. Storms do not make the air feel heavy and empty at the same time. When the first lights began to flicker, the colony leader tried to send a distress signal to the council. But before the message could fully transmit, the Voidborn arrived. They came not as ships, not as creatures, but as a giant shifting mass of dark energy. The thing covered half the sky, twisting slowly, like a giant wound opening in space. Children screamed. Adults froze. Animals cried in fear. And then, piece by piece, the Voidborn began draining the sun of Lorna 7. The sky darkened even more. Plants wilted. Water turned cold. Panic filled the colony. People tried to escape in small ships, but as soon as they reached the atmosphere, the Voidborn shot out long tendrils of darkness that ripped the ships apart without even touching them. The colony leader managed to send a final message: "We are under attack, not pirates, not ships, something else, help us." The message reached the council, but before the members could react, it was also received by Earth. And Earth acted instantly. Inside the council hall, as members shouted and accused each other again, the human leader placed a hand on his helmet and spoke into his communicator. "Strike Team Alpha, deploy. Full jump. Save whoever you can." The council leader glared at him. "What are you doing?" "We have not even agreed," the human cut him off. "The Voidborn have already arrived. We are out of time." Before the council could respond, the entire human fleet shifted formation. Their engines glowed bright blue, forming a massive circle around the flagship. In a single instant, 200 warships vanished into hyperspace, leaving streaks of glowing light behind them. Aliens ran to the windows, stunned. Where are they going? They left without permission. They are attacking. The human leader ignored them and brought up a live feed. "Watch," he said with a cold voice. "See for yourselves." The hologram showed the warships arriving above Lorna 7 in perfect formation. The colony below was already dying, darkness spreading across the land like ink-soaking paper. Human ships deployed glowing shields, cutting through the Voidborn's draining energy. The largest human ship, the Titan-class destroyer Horizon, fired a single white beam that tore through the darkness like a blade of pure light. For the first time, the Voidborn recoiled, twisting violently as if in pain. In the council hall, aliens watched with wide eyes, unable to look away. A seraphim whispered, "Their weapons, they hurt the Voidborn." The human leader nodded. "Yes. We built our fleet for this. Not for you." In the battlefield above Lorna 7, human pilots moved with incredible coordination. Fighters danced between tendrils of shadow, firing bright pulses that pushed the Voidborn away from the sun. Larger ships activated energy shields that protected the colony ships trying to escape. One human pilot yelled, "Civilian ship on my right. Covering fire, move now." Another responded, "I see you, shielding." Their voices were calm, trained, determined. Death was everywhere, yet humans fought as if fear did not exist. Still, the Voidborn was strong. It pushed back, draining more light, expanding its reach. Several Earth ships took heavy hits. The darkness wrapped around them, crushing their shields like glass. One cruiser exploded in a bright flash. Another was pulled into the Voidborn's mass and vanished instantly. In the council hall, an alien shouted, "They are losing. Pull back." But the humans did not pull back. Instead, the horizon moved closer to the Voidborn. The ship's captain, a woman with fire in her voice, gave the final order. "Charge the solar core. Full output." Her crew hesitated. "Captain, that could destroy the ship." She replied, "Then prepare to die saving these people." The ship glowed brighter and brighter until it looked like a small star. Then it unleashed the solar core, a burst of pure, concentrated light that spread across space like a tidal wave. The Voidborn screeched without sound, its body twisting violently before it finally broke apart and vanished like smoke in wind. The battle ended. The humans had stopped the first Voidborn attack. But not without loss. When the smoke cleared, the horizon was drifting, half destroyed, its hull burning. Hundreds of humans were gone. But they had saved the colony. Back in the council hall, silence swallowed the room. For the first time, the aliens understood the truth. Earth had not lied. Earth had not exaggerated. Earth had not returned for power. The Voidborn were real. And humans were the only ones ready to fight them. The human leader looked at the council and said with a quiet voice, "This is only the beginning." The news of the battle at Lorna 7 spread through the galaxy like wildfire. Some called it a miracle. Others called it the first sign of the end. Every race, every fleet, every leader watched the recorded footage again and again, humans fighting in a way no one had ever seen. They fought with discipline like a machine, courage like warriors, and sacrifice like legends. But for Earth, it was not a victory to celebrate. It was a warning, a reminder of the danger still coming. Inside the damaged human flagship Horizon, rescue teams searched the burned corridors, pulling out wounded crew members. Sparks fell from the broken ceiling. Smoke filled the air. One officer, covered in dust, whispered, "Did we stop it?" The captain, barely awake, answered with a weak voice, "No, the Voidborn was only a scout. The real swarm will come." Those words hit the rescue team like a punch. If what they fought was only a small piece of the real enemy, then the galaxy was in far worse danger than anyone understood. Meanwhile, in the council hall, leaders were still in shock. The massive room was filled with silence. Screens still showed the last moment of the battle, when the solar core blast tore the Voidborn apart. No one knew what to say. Finally, the council leader spoke in a shaky voice. "Earth, your ships, your weapons, your training. You saved a colony today." The human leader did not smile. He did not bow. He simply said, "We did what had to be done. Nothing more." A Seraphim general stood up. "Your technology, how did you build weapons that can hurt the Voidborn?" The human leader looked at him and answered, "Because they came to us first. We have been fighting them alone for years. You held meetings. You ignored the danger. We fought." Those words stung the council. Many lowered their heads, ashamed. Others felt angry, unwilling to accept that humans were right. But the truth was impossible to deny now. A small alien ambassador, voice trembling, asked, "What happens next?" The human leader turned to the large galaxy map. The stars glowed softly, marking thousands of worlds. He pointed to a dark region far beyond the known routes. "The Voidborn have a nest. A hive. A place where they grow, multiply, and gather strength. We call it the Abyss Zone." A ripple of fear passed through the council. The Abyss Zone was a forbidden region, ships that entered never returned. The leader continued, "Earth detected strange signals coming from there months ago. We believe a Voidborn army is forming. A full-scale invasion." The room erupted. Leaders shouted, "Impossible. How many? We must evaluate worlds. No, we must prepare fleets." The chaos grew louder and louder until the human leader raised his hand. Everyone fell silent. "The invasion is not tomorrow," he said calmly. "But it is coming. And when it comes, the galaxy must stand together. not as separate empires. As one. Many leaders hesitated. The council had never united for anything. They had never truly trusted each other. They feared betrayal more than extinction. And yet, they had just seen the truth with their own eyes. A Kaltoran commander asked, "And Earth? Will you stand with us?" The human leader's answer was immediate. "We will stand in front." Those words filled the room with a strange new feeling, hope mixed with fear. Somewhere far away, inside a medical room on the horizon, a young human pilot woke up from unconsciousness. His body hurt everywhere. He looked through the window and saw rescue ships flying over the damaged battlefield. He whispered to himself, "This was only one fight. How will we survive the next ones?" No one had an answer, not even Earth. Later that day, Earth's full fleet arrived at Lorna 7. 2,000 warships appeared around the colony like a giant protective shield. The sky filled with blue and white engine trails. Colony survivors cried when they saw the fleet. Some fell to their knees. They had never seen such power. They had never seen someone come to save them so fast. Human engineers helped rebuild shelters. Medics treated the wounded. Soldiers guarded the perimeter, scanning for any sign of darkness. Even alien council members flew down to see the damage with their own eyes. But what they saw terrified them. Huge areas of land were drained of life. Plants looked like ash. The sun still flickered weakly, trying to recover from the Voidborn's attack. One council scientist whispered, "If even a scout can do this, what will a full swarm do?" The human commander beside him answered quietly, "That is why Earth built the 2,000-ship fleet. Not for war. For survival." That night, humans placed special light beacons around the colony, large glowing devices that pushed away all dark energy. When the beacons activated, the dead land brightened a little, as if slowly recovering. The council had never seen such technology. One alien muttered, "Earth, how many secrets do you still hide?" The human leader replied, "Enough to fight. Not enough to win alone." Later, he gathered his officers and spoke with a heavy voice. "Send a message to every human colony, every ship, every outpost. Tell them the Voidborn have begun their moves." The officer nodded. "What is the message?" The leader stared at the dark sky where the Voidborn had appeared and said, "Tell them, the long night is coming." The message spread across Earth's network, carried by satellites, relays, and deep space stations. Humans everywhere paused when they saw the alert. Soldiers tightened their armor. Engineers prepared their machines. Scientists checked their research. Ordinary people held their breath. The galaxy was waking up to a threat most never believed in. But Earth had always known this day would come. And now, the real war was getting closer, closer than anyone dared to imagine. Fear and tension wrapped around the galaxy like a tight net as news of the Voidborn attack spread everywhere. Every world, from the smallest mining moon to the greatest empire capital, felt the same cold weight. Something terrible was coming. While Earth repaired damaged ships and protected Lorna 7, the Galactic Council gathered again, this time with none of the usual arrogance. No one argued about power. No one complained about Earth's secrecy. Everyone understood now that the danger was not political, it was survival. Inside the huge council hall, the atmosphere was thick and silent. Leaders sat with worried faces, some trembling, some sweating, all waiting for Earth's next words. The human leader walked into the center slowly, wearing his dark battle armor. Even though he looked calm, there was a deep tiredness in his eyes. He had fought the Voidborn before. He knew what was still coming. "We do not have years," he began. "We may not even have months. The Voidborn are gathering in the Abyss Zone. Their energy signals are rising. Their shadows are spreading. If we do nothing, the entire galaxy will fall." His voice echoed through the massive chamber, and many leaders lowered their heads, finally accepting the truth. A small group of council scientists stood up. One of them spoke with a shaky voice. "We studied the recordings from Lorna 7. The void-born creature you fought was only using 5% of the energy we detected from the abyss. Gasps filled the room. Some leaders stood from their seats. Others grabbed their chest in shock. 5%. If such a small fragment could drain a sun and destroy ships with ease, then what could a full swarm do? The human leader continued, we must prepare every world to fight. But more than that, we must find a way to strike the abyss before the swarm emerges. Many aliens panicked at the idea. Strike the abyss? That is suicide. No one who enters returns. You cannot ask us to do that. The human ignored the panic and activated a hologram. A massive dark cloud appeared, swirling slowly like a black storm. Inside it were bright red spots, void-born hives. Thousands of them. The room fell silent again. The human pointed. This is where the swarm is forming. If they leave this zone, they will spread across the galaxy and consume everything. A Seraphim general asked, and Earth, do you truly believe you can attack this place? Not alone, the human answered. But with all of you, maybe. After the meeting, Earth's officers spread out across the Council world to work with different alien forces. Some taught them human shield techniques. Some trained them in swarm defense formations. Others demonstrated anti-void-born weapons. Aliens watched in awe as human soldiers moved like a single mind, responding instantly to commands, adapting to attack patterns, and using advanced tools. For the first time, alien races respected humans not as troublemakers, but as warriors shaped by darkness itself. Meanwhile, at Lorna 7, human scientists studied what remained of the void-born scout. Its particles glowed faintly like dying embers. Dr. Lyra, Earth's chief xenophysicist, tapped her tablet and frowned. This thing is alive even when dead, she whispered. Its energy changes. It adapts. A young technician asked, can we use it against them? Dr. Lyra shook her head. Maybe one day. But right now, even touching the wrong part could corrupt everything. Far above the planet, the 2,000-ship fleet continued to patrol. The giant destroyers moved in perfect lines, engines glowing like small stars. Every hour, alarms sounded for training. Pilots ran to their ships. Troops assembled in formation. Technicians checked weapons again and again. They all knew the same truth, the swarm could arrive at any moment. On a distant world called Veridon Prime, the people prepared evacuation routes. On the icy world Oristan 4, miners dug deep shelters. On the floating city of Miros, engineers reinforced energy towers. The galaxy was preparing, but no one knew if it would be enough. Meanwhile, in the darkest region of space, far beyond the reach of any sensor, something began to move. A giant shadow larger than a planet. It pulsed slowly, sending waves of darkness across the void. And deep inside that shadow, countless red lights blinked like awakening eyes. The Voidborn were organizing. Growing. Strengthening. Preparing. One tendril of darkness extended outward, pointing toward the brighter parts of the galaxy. The swarm had heard the humans' challenge. They had felt the solar core blast. They had tasted defeat, and they hungered for revenge. Back in the council hall, humans and aliens continued their heated discussions. Some demanded more weapons. Some wanted to hide. Others argued for peace talks, even though peace with the Voidborn was impossible. The human leader finally stood up again, raising his voice above the chaos. Listen to me. The Voidborn do not negotiate. They do not stop. They do not fear anything except light. If we fight together, we have a chance. If we fight separately, we die separately. The hall fell silent. His words cut through their fear. Then the leader added one final warning. This is no longer about empires, borders, or laws. This is about existence. The long night is coming. And only united light can push it back. The leaders looked at each other. Slowly, one by one, they nodded. A decision was forming. A dangerous, historic, unbelievable decision. And Earth was ready to lead it. The galaxy was standing at the edge of a storm, and the first winds were already blowing. The human leaders gathered in the command room of the flagship Horizon, surrounded by glowing holograms of star systems, void-born hives, and galaxy maps. Every officer, every strategist, understood the gravity of the situation. The void-born were no longer scouts. They were organizing in the Abyss Zone, sending out tendrils that reached farther than anything Earth had ever predicted. Every passing hour increased the risk of a full-scale attack that could destroy multiple star systems. The human leader spoke calmly but firmly. "We have one final option," he said, pointing at a bright red hologram. "Project Dawn." The room went silent. Everyone knew the legend of Project Dawn, Earth's most dangerous and secret weapon. It was a superweapon designed to release energy capable of destroying void-born masses on a massive scale. But it had a cost. One wrong calculation could obliterate half of the galaxy along with the void-born. One officer, voice trembling, asked, "Are we willing to risk that?" The leader looked at him steadily. "We have no choice. If we do nothing, the void-born will reach the galaxy. Every world we know will fall. Project Dawn is the only way to stop them." Engineers and scientists began checking the weapon systems. Giant energy cores glowed, pulsing with power. Humans worked with precision, adjusting frequencies and stabilizers. The command room hummed with energy, and everyone felt the tension like a physical weight. Outside, the fleet of 2,000 warships formed a massive wall around the outer rim, their shields glowing blue and white. The first wave of voidborn had been detected near the Abyss Zone, moving faster than expected. Pilots reported strange energy fluctuations and tendrils extending into space, probing for weaknesses. Communications buzzed with warnings and confirmations, but every human officer remained focused. The leader walked among them, giving quiet instructions, observing, and planning every possible move. "We cannot waste energy. We must strike once, strike precisely, and strike together," he said. The crew nodded silently. There was no fear. Fear was a luxury humans could not afford. Next, the human leader addressed the council representatives present aboard the flagship. "You have seen the voidborn. You have seen the destruction. You may not understand the full scale, but it is time to trust Earth. We cannot fight separately. If the galaxy does not unite, none will survive." Some aliens whispered doubts, others stared in fear, and a few even nodded reluctantly. Earth's leader continued, "Project Dawn will release a concentrated wave of energy capable of collapsing void-born cores, but the energy spread is dangerous. We have designed it to minimize collateral damage, but sacrifices are inevitable. Some of our ships may not survive. That is why the fleet is positioned carefully. Each ship is part of the plan." Holograms displayed precise formations, showing ships as shields and attackers, channels of energy, and timing sequences. Humans worked in synchronization like a single organism. Every step was calculated. Every risk accounted for. Meanwhile, in the Abyss Zone, the void-born mass continued to gather. Its tendrils probed deeper into space, spreading shadows across entire star systems. The scouts sent previously had already warned the main hives of human attacks. The swarm was becoming alert, responding faster than any human calculations had predicted. Back on the horizon, the human leader activated the control panel for Project Dawn. Energy cores began humming louder. Lights flashed. The weapon, a massive satellite-like device, unfolded slowly, its surface glowing white-hot. Every officer held their breath as the countdown began. "T-minus 30 minutes, said the commander. "All ships in position. Shields at maximum. Civilian ships and colonies cleared. Double-check all calculations." Outside the flagship, the fleet held position, a wall of steel and light against the approaching darkness. Pilots readied their fighters, engineers monitored energy flows, and soldiers stood at their posts. All of them knew some of them might not return from this mission. On the hologram, the void-born hive glowed red, pulsating as if sensing the human's presence. The human leader spoke into the communication system. This is the moment we prepared for. All ships, follow the plan. No deviation. Protect each other. Project Dawn will fire in 5 minutes. Execute flawlessly. The countdown continued. Tension built like a physical force pressing down on everyone. Outside, the stars glimmered, the galaxy waiting silently for the explosion that could save it or destroy it. 2 minutes, whispered the weapons officer. 1 minute, the navigator repeated. Every pulse, every blink, every breath of the crew synced with the countdown. Finally, at 0, Project Dawn activated. A beam of pure, concentrated energy shot forward, stretching across the abyss zone. It hit the void-born hive like a hammer of light. The shadows twisted, shrieked silently, and began breaking apart. Energy ripples spread through the swarm, causing confusion and destruction. But the cost was immediate. Half of the ships closest to the blast felt massive shocks. Shields overloaded. Explosions rocked the fleet. Crew members screamed. Some ships were lost instantly. Others struggled to survive the energy backlash. Still, the Voidborn were being destroyed. The galaxy watched in awe and horror. When the energy faded, the hive was fractured. Red lights dimmed. Shadows disappeared. The first major victory against the Voidborn had been won. But the human leader knew the war was far from over. Hundreds of ships had been lost, and the swarm was only partially destroyed. "We have won the battle," he whispered to his officers, "but the war continues. The Abyss Zone is weakened, but not gone. We must prepare for the next strike. The galaxy is safe, for now." He looked at the stars and knew one thing with certainty: Earth had done what no one else could, but even Earth could not fight forever alone. The galaxy held its breath after Project Dawn, waiting to see if the humans had truly turned the tide against the Voidborn, but there was no time to celebrate. Even though the Abyss Zone hive was fractured, the swarm was far from finished. From the remnants of the shattered Voidborn mass, smaller shadows began to regroup, forming new tendrils, reaching farther than before, and scanning the galaxy for any signs of life to consume. Across human-controlled sectors, alarms blared constantly. Pilots raced to their ships. Soldiers readied their weapons. Engineers monitored every shield and weapon system simultaneously, ensuring no failure could occur. The human leader paced the command bridge of the flagship Horizon, watching every screen, analyzing every movement, and predicting the Voidborn's next strike. His eyes were tired, but his resolve was stronger than ever. Beside him, his officers worked tirelessly. "Sir," a weapons officer called, pointing at a holographic map, "multiple Voidborn scouts are approaching outer colonies at light speed. They are coordinating attacks. Lorna 7 will not hold if we do not intervene immediately." The human leader nodded. "Deploy Fleet Alpha and Beta. Protect the colonies first. The rest of the fleet must hold formation for the main strike. No one acts alone. Remember, we fight as one." Orders were given, and within minutes, the fleet split into multiple formations, each unit moving with clockwork precision. Pilots knew their roles, engineers monitored weapons and shields, and soldiers remained vigilant for any surprise attacks. Outside the battlefield, the stars seemed calm, but the dark energy waves spreading from the Abyss Zone betrayed the real threat. Shadows moved faster than the human fleet could detect, shifting silently through the void, testing defenses, and probing for weaknesses. The council representatives, now traveling alongside the human fleet, watched in awe as humans moved with unmatched coordination. Even the most skeptical aliens admitted that Earth had prepared in ways no other species could. "They are incredible," whispered a Seraphim general. "I have never seen such precision in combat." "They are not just soldiers," said another alien, a stone-skinned Dralic commander. "They are a single mind. A machine of war." Meanwhile, the Voidborn scouts arrived at the outer colonies, beginning to drain energy from smaller stars and mining worlds. Lights flickered. Communications failed. Civilians screamed in panic. The first battle cries echoed as human and alien defenders rushed to engage them. Human pilots took to the skies, moving in tight formations, firing bright energy pulses that tore through void-borne tendrils. Soldiers on the ground activated energy shields to protect colonies while engineers sent countermeasures to disable approaching scouts. The void-born were relentless, but humans and their allies responded faster, striking with coordinated precision, cutting through the darkness like knives of light. On the flagship, the human leader monitored all transmissions, calling out orders calmly. Red Squadron, flank from the left. Blue Squadron, intercept the tendrils heading for the star. Shield teams, maintain barrier integrity. No breach allowed. Each command was followed instantly. The fleet moved like a living organism, each ship anticipating the other's moves, creating layers of defense and offense that even the Voidborn seemed unprepared for. Despite the chaos, humans remained disciplined. Civilian evacuation ships were protected, damaged colonies stabilized, and the smallest settlements were shielded from destruction. But the battle was taking a toll. Several human cruisers were hit by void-borne energy pulses, explosions rocked the fleet, and crew members screamed as emergency alarms blared. Still, retreat was never an option. The human leader's voice echoed above the chaos, steady and commanding, "Hold the line. Protect every star system. We do not fall today." Meanwhile, deeper in the Abyss Zone, the main void-borne hive pulsed angrily. Red lights flared. Shadows twisted violently. The swarm had felt the humans' attack, tasted the defeat from Project Dawn, and was now organizing a full-scale counterstrike. Tendrils shot outward, faster and more aggressively than before, heading straight for the human fleet. Sensors detected massive energy spikes. The humans knew this was the real test, the true battle for the galaxy was beginning. The human leader activated the fleet-wide combat network. Energy beams lit up the void, shields blazed in protective arcs, and ships fired coordinated volleys, striking the tendrils as they approached. The battle escalated into a massive cosmic clash of light and darkness. Explosions lit up the void. Shadow tendrils twisted violently and were torn apart. Ships maneuvered with deadly precision, dodging attacks and returning fire. The galaxy watched in awe as humans, along with allied species, held the line against a force that no one else had ever faced and survived. But the human leader knew this was only the beginning. The void-born swarm was larger than any fleet they had fought before, and casualties were rising. The fleet would need every strategy, every weapon, and every trained mind if they hoped to survive. "Prepare for the next wave," he said quietly, almost to himself, staring at the endless darkness beyond the stars. "This is the true battle for the galaxy. We fight, or everything we know dies." The fleet tightened its formation. Pilots gripped their controls. Soldiers prepared for boarding actions. Engineers monitored every system. The Voidborn advanced. The war had begun. And Earth was at the forefront, leading the galaxy into a fight for survival that would decide the fate of every world, every star, and every living being in the known universe. The long night had arrived.